Welcome everybody to King Mumbles. We're going to be bringing in the guest right now. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How you feeling?
All right. So yes, so we are live here, streaming through YouTube. All right. So this is what we call holding court with King Mumble. That is me. Basically, we interview people of interest that are providing services, skills from a variety of different industries that interest me on personal things like entertainment, art, business, and especially black owned businesses, and I like to support, you know.
Yeah,
So I looked on your site and your blog. You do a lot of work and even bigger than what I thought when you first messaged me. Everybody who's joined us today. This is Dr. Marcus Robinson. So I usually start the same way all the time. I ask you to introduce yourself and tell everybody like what you do.
excellent. Thank you for the opportunity, King. I certainly appreciate it. And I'm Dr. Marcus Robinson. I'm an innovative wellness coach with a deep experience in personal transformation and organizational change. So I'm an old cat, been around for a little bit, lived a couple lives. I'm on number 6 or 7 right now. Uh,
Okay.
And what I wanted to focus in with you today, King, was really about this business about hyper wellness and what it means to us as a people and what we have to do in order to achieve a much higher level of a health status for Black men, Black people in general, and the world at large.
Okay. So we'll start off like how long have you been doing this and like how did you get started with this?
Wow, so it goes on. It's been all my life, man. It feels in a certain kind of way. So I grew up in a family of people helpers, down in the deep south, where I'm really calling in from today, down in my ancestral grounds, down in the Homestead, South Florida area, and we're always people helping and change making in the communities. So that's where I got started.
Mhm.
Uh, but as it relates to what it means to be human and personal transformation, I got lucky enough to climb out of the agricultural hole that my family was in. I would call it that. We were locked into the migrant trails kind of thing in the farming piece of it. So I got to go to school, went on, to get really involved in music. My family was very musically involved, and went to California. Of course, I got out of there. I went to California, baby, with the Beverly Hillbillies. If they could do it, I could do it. And my life soared. And as I noticed that, I looked around and saw my peers, my brothers and sisters, and others in the communities that I was embedded in. Their lives were stable, but at a low level. The trajectory wasn't climbing high, soaring, and I wanted to figure out what the heck that was about. And so I spent a good 10 years of my life in various different kinds of educational programs, psychology, workshops, you name it, universities, institutes, really trying to sort out, okay, what's the difference between a successful life and one that isn't, when they come from the same source, got the same parents, same neighborhood, same schools, same general set of opportunities, different outcome.
Okay.
I learned quite a bit about that, and I went to work in that space, primarily in Hawaii at the beginning, where it really came to this kind of realization, and then built a community development program focusing on high risk young people that's been duplicated in 30 or 40 cities around the world, still going today. A program just like I created 30 years ago, just completed in Belgium, working with the brown and black, refugees over there who are suffering under the oppression of kind of European, white supremacy and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, so that brings me all the way to today. So along the way, I got sick. I hit 40 and boom, something happened to me. Like my body started being different. And so I went and got some really, good medicine, which is to say, I found out regular doctors don't work. You want a functional medicine doctor if you want to be well. If you're trying to fix something that's broken, go to your doctor, go to the hospital. You're trying to live well, stay away from them cats. Get yourself a functional wellness person.
Yeah.
And then, so that hit me in my 40s, and I'm riding along pretty good. And boom, hits me in my 60s too. Oh my God! And so I decided that I need to find out what this is and fix this. And that's so I went back to school, focusing on integrative medicine and trying to understand what this functional nutrition stuff is, what this new quantum healing, quantum technology stuff is really about, and apply that to myself so that I could stop aging as fast as I was and start living a much more vital, fruitful, exciting life. And that's what I'm here to share.
Okay. So it was. It seemed like partially starting to have to do this to benefit yourself, and
Yes.
then choosing to share that with others.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so at what point? Hmm?
Let me tell you why it was important. Because in my 40s, I was running up on diabetes.
Oh, yeah,
Diabetes will kill you in 20, 25 years. So I
yeah,
went and got me a functional medicine doctor to help me reorganize my mindset, my daily practices, the food I ate, everything about the way I live in order to push that away and avoid that and to bypass that. And I was successfully able to do that. Then it hit me in my 60s again with brain fog and all that kind of stuff, with the dementia type things that people talk about. I
yeah,
saw that creep in my direction. I said, oh no, not here. Went again, did the research, worked with the right professionals, reverse all of that stuff. Reverse all of that stuff. I'm probably aging right now. I'm pushing 70, late 60s, early pushing 70. And I'm probably feeling like I'm 45, 50 years old inside. And I just completed a year-long certification program in integrative medicine. So the brain ain't slipping, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Like I would say, I guess, because we have that slogan in our community of "Black don't crack." I guess because we are always able to visually look so much younger and so well, we probably don't take enough time to consider the internal, the mental, the other stuff of our health issues. Like,
Yes, 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 sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we to such a point, we don't do that thing that don't pay attention to the internal thing to such a point. Believe it or not, this national statistic on deaths places African American men on the average die at 62.3 years. 62.3 years average lifespan for an African American man. Now, some of us live to 80 and more. The ones that got good educations, they're living real good, got wives and husbands and children, people around them, good situations. That's like 2%. Most everybody's gone by their mid 70s, right?
true.
Now,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that way. The differential just just in the in the normal differential between average lifespan for a black man and the average lifespan for a white man is nearly 20 years.
Wow.
There's a gap to be closed. We can look at it in multiple ways. You can say there's social determinants of health that impact Black people based on society and whatnot. There's also the oppression that goes on with access and uh, differential treatments by different kinds of providers to Black people. There's all of that. That's true. And then there's the large, because now that piece right there is let's say the 40% of it. The 60% of it is the toxins that we expose our bodies to, the toxins that we eat. I mean, we want to smell good, so we throw cologne on us, but that cologne is disrupting your hormones, and you wonder why. Oh boy, gets a little tired a little sooner as he gets older. You know what I'm saying? It's the freaking colognes we're wearing because it's got the chemicals in it that are disrupting our hormones.
Okay. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of stuff like that. So we got to get rid of the toxins and then get better about the food.
yeah,
Your grandparents and great grandparents ate better food than you and I could eat, even if we were eating off the top of the shelf.
yeah,
Because the food was better 60 years ago
yeah,
than by, put it this way: the you eat an apple today, it's got X number of vitamins and minerals and all the good stuff that apples are supposed to have. That's only about 30% of the value that apples used to have 50 years ago.
true.
So
Yeah. My
if you
dad, my dad used to say, he goes, he doesn't like to eat food that his mom won't recognize as food.
That's right. That's right. He right about that. That's a wise man. If it doesn't look like the butcher just slaughtered it, the fisherman just pulled it out of the water, or the farmer just pulled it out of the ground or off the tree, then it's human feed. It's not food, and that feed is filled with everything else you need except the vital nutrients. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, you go to the grocery store, if it's in a nice box or package, can, or anything that looks like it's been touched by a manufacturer, it's more or less going to kill you over
Mhm.
time. It's more or less a toxin for you over time. You want it fresh. You want it without any pesticides. You want it without any fertilizers or none of that stuff. They call it so-called organic. No, but that's just the way it used to be back when poor folks didn't have no money for for that kind of stuff for their crops, but to make the food better. They figured out they brought the indigenous ways from Africa here and figured out how to, grow stuff without all of those chemicals and whatnot, and because they didn't have the money to buy them.
Yeah.
And then when we got a little money in our pocket after the civil rights movement and from the vacuum, people started getting jobs, moving up, da da da. We moving out, da da da. Even I moved out. I'm leaving. I'm leaving the farm. I'm gonna go, get my American dream, right? Well, the
Yeah.
American dream, if you swallow it hook, line, and sinker, will give you diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and dementia.
Wow. Okay. So, and because this is not, you do this as your business as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, in what format do you connect with clients, and what services like do you provide? Can I see, you work with companies, you work with, individuals. So in like, how do you structure and how do you connect this information with the people?
Okay, great. Three different levels. So the one I want to really focus in on is the personal level. So I'm going to leave that to last and talk to you about the two other places I do it. So I've worked on a project for the last 10 years called Wellville. And what it has been is we work with the public health departments of 5 different states, zeroing in on a specific locality in their state, like a county or tri-county area. And then we work with the public health and, professionals and the health community in those spaces to re-examine themselves and ask the question, what is health and vitality, and how much of that are we actually creating for the people that we say we serve? And that helps them rethink services, rethink connection access, rethink the way doctors and nurses interact with people of color and women in sensitive situations like in childbirth and whatnot, to really figure that out, to be purposeful about those disparities. So that's one level. And then inside of organizations, you know, organization is a machine to make money, and people are cogs in the freaking wheel. And when you know if you have a flat tire, you fix it or get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
And that's how people get treated in organizations too. So I work with organizations to help them become worthy of the people who actually make them the money. It's how to treat them better, treat everybody better. Why I call it leadership, a lot of other people call it diversity, equity, inclusion. I just call it good organizational culture. If you want the best out of me, then treat me that way. Give me what I need to do it that way. And we call that equity, right? Now, folks are fussing with that in the larger community right now, but they can fuss with it all they want, because the truth of the matter is, if you take it all out and stop caring for people, productivity and performance is going to go down, and profits are going to go down, and then we'll be back to DEI, because that's what they need. That's how it is. Now, right now I'm focusing on one-on-one interactions with human beings, with anybody who's willing to say, my life energy is valuable to me, my contribution to my family and the world needs to extend for a much longer period of time, and I need the energy and power to do that. And I'm helping people redefine themselves, not just as someone who doesn't get sick. That is the lowest level of health. Not just somebody who can, hang out with the boys, or play a few games here and there. Got to, go to the gym, and that's normative health. I'm talking about elongating your health span so that you can have whatever you got right now in your 40s, right through your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And if I find you in your 50s and 60s, we try to reverse all of that stuff and deal with all that stuff that's weighing you down and got you on the verge of a problem, because it is going to trip you over in your 60s. We you avoid that dip so that you can sail right through it and move on into your 70s and 80s feeling good, feeling powerful. Well, if you wanted to, you could run the United States of America at 80 years old.
Okay.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I like that. So what would you say would make your, because we've heard, especially now, more and more we hear about wellness coaches. What would you say would be like a major thing or two things that make your approach different than others?
Yes, I would say my approach, the there are two things that make it different. The first one is obvious. You're looking at it. I'm one of the few voices that look like me in this space. So that there, and I'm at the highest level of knowledge and capacity in the space too. So that's a good thing. But the thing that really distinguishes me from other wellness coaches is that I take a quantum world view of the body and the world versus a Newtonian world view. Which is to say, so there's in the world of physics, guy named Isaac Newton set the world on fire in the 1700s with this, with his whole thing around how the world is made with atoms and you name it, all the stuff that we know about, gravity and all that kind of stuff. Well, that Newtonian science was so powerful, it helped us move all the way from the 1700s into the 1900s to give us the kind of world we got now. Very powerful stuff. But at the onset of the 1900s, Newtonian physics in the physics world was retired in favor of a quantum worldview that had greater explanatory power and greater resonance with what is actually going on, so that you could really understand the world as it is. Now, what does that mean to biology? To the Newtonian worldview would have you think that you are a lowly individual that is alive as a a magic thing of nature. We don't know why, but we know that all the little bugs and germs and everything out there will make you sick and cause you to die. Blah blah blah. That you are a victim of those things. Well, a quantum world view is more consistent with where our ancient Egyptians were, where our original peoples were in Africa, which is to say, you are a part of the earth. And as a
Yeah.
part of the earth, you have all of those qualities and powers that the earth has. And if you understand how long life has been on earth, we're talking billions of years. Well, that power to live billions of years is in you. That's how come you here right now. And when you understand the quantum biology versus the kind of a gross anatomy that you learned in high school or college, when you understand the now what we know as quantum biology, you begin to recognize that the energy fields that you are supported by the energy fields of the earth, are supported by the energy fields that come from the sun and around you. And when you harness that knowledge and apply it to various different portions of functions of your body, you get a much better outcome. Now, half the world is with me, and that half that world is in the regular medicine world. When you go to the doctor and they can't figure out what to do with you, they do what? They go, let me get an MRI, let me get a CAT scan, let me get a whatever. That's all quantum level diagnostic technology because they're using magnetic waves to determine how your magnetic waves are doing, right? And they show you a picture of it. The only problem with that is that then the doctor, the regular doctor, now does some Newtonian stuff and says, I'm gonna give you this one pill that has less than a thimble full of chemicals in it, and those chemicals are gonna go in your mouth and gonna magically find its way to your problem. Well, that's like that's like that's like going to the casino thinking that you've got 10 cents and your 1 10 cents you're gonna put it in the slot machine and it's gonna hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
That's how likely that is. Now it'll happen from time to time, but that ain't what's going down. Now medicine is a little more a little more of a winner than the scenario I just saw. I just told you about, but they talk about winning about. Watch this. They figure medicine is good if it wins 53% of the time. That's almost 50-50.
Yeah.
You taking a long shot even on the best medicine. Why do you think when you see those medicine commercials, they go for 50 seconds telling you all the beautiful things about their medicine, and then the last 10 seconds, this shit'll kill you. It'll make you sick. It'll get you heart attacks. It'll make you give you headaches. It'll make you poop. It tell you all the things that the side effects from it. Beautiful thing about quantum interventions: zero side effects. The side effect is good health.
That's very interesting. Yeah. I've never been a big supporter of like regular healthcare because I've seen the results. So, I've never trusted it. So, because you said you've lived six lives, we're going to change up the question a bit of if you weren't doing this as a wellness coach, based on your interests, your passions, your other life, what do you think you would be doing in the
Wow,
world? Like,
that's a very very good question, and I'll answer it this way, King. Uh, right about the time we all went in hibernation and hiding from the boogeyman called COVID, and everybody. And I was in Chicago, so we were in lockdown, right? So we were really
yeah,
in, right? At that point, I had decided that it's time for me to really take a pause and then and ask myself, well, what is my life supposed to be about from here? Because I had finished a $500 million project in Western Michigan just a few
mm,
years before that, right? So it's huge nonprofit transformation program, $500 million over 15 years we spent in that space. So a thing called Harbor Shores in Benton Harbor, Michigan, written up in the New York Times, all kinds of places on Rachel Maddow. Check it out. It's a thing. Run by a young brother with my name, Marcus Muhammad, now the mayor, black mayor of the town, black run town, black beach, resorts, you name it. Things are better than they were when I walked in the door, for sure. Now, thinking about what there was to do, I have this big white blank sheet in front of me. So I gathered my adult kids up and said, y'all come stay with me in Chicago, bring your families, and we're going to do the lockdown together. If you go, we go, kind of thing. So we all stayed in the same apartment building together. I was on one floor, kids on the next floor, kind of thing, in their own spaces with their families. And as we did that, and then, it's like taking a year or 2 or 3 off from work and being with the people you love most every day. And then that really touched me and says, well, what I really want to do with my life is get another 60 years. So if I weren't sharing this with the world, I would be using it for myself so that I can thrive another 60 years or more from here. I mean, thrive, so I can see my grandchildren's rise up and do great things and watch their babies born and, be in the midst of them in the naming ceremonies and all this kind of stuff and really do, really put my arms around my tribe. That's what I would be doing if I weren't doing this, because that's exactly what I'm doing as I do this. That's what's up with me, King.
Okay. So another question that, like, especially when I talk to entrepreneurs, that I like to ask, what is a lesson or something that you know now from the years of doing that you wish you knew at the beginning that would have, like what is like a major lesson that you learned over time that you wish somebody like just told you at the beginning and it would have made it so much better or easier for you to get through?
King, man, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Watch this. Watch this. Today, I look back and think about my 20-year-old self, and as courageous as I was, I wish I had the confidence of an everyday average white man. I tell you why. Everyday average white man
Yeah.
back in the day, all he had to do was show up at the bank and sign the papers. The loans were there. All he had to do is show up at the business that a family member or a church member or somebody referred him to, and the job was his. All he had to do was not mess it up, and he got to be promoted all along the way. Had I known that and what that was, I would have generated myself a much more potent force to really accelerate beyond what my peers were doing. Because I'm thinking we're all on the same level, or at least I'm behind you because I'm under the 8 ball. No, I got headwinds in front of me, and these cats have tailwinds behind them. And truth of the matter is, the big fuss that we got going on in the country today is whether or not they get to keep the tailwinds and whether or not we have to only deal with the headwinds of life. See, that's the problem. And so I wish I had that kind of sensibility and understanding of who I was in the world. I was already standing, head and shoulders above the crowd. Had I known that, instead of incorporating all of the small thinking around that you get left with when you are marginalized and set aside and have to fight for everything and blah blah blah. There's a certain way that weighs you down, that weathers you. It's like leaving a piece of wood outside for too long, or a piece of metal outside for too long in the winter and all year round. The weathering effect on that material is severe. the weathering effect of oppression is severe and continues to be. Only that nowadays, if you are so-called U.S. citizen, you get a pass. Now we're the ones. U.S. citizens got the tailwinds right now. Guess who got the headwinds? Just try coming here for any reason, shape, or form without $1 billion in your pocket or hundreds of millions of serious money, so that they let you in, because you got money, or one of these visas where they let you in because you got skills like technology skills. We'll let you in. Everybody else stand aside. So those are all social things that need to be dealt with that are just beyond the scope of an individual, but not beyond the scope of a collective. So I'm willing to be involved and support the collectives looking to transform our societies. I'm interested in being a change agent inside of our organizations and institutions, such that they are, are worthy of the people who actually work for them and generate the value and the profitability that they experience. But most importantly, I'm interested in working with you one-on-one to understand your biology, your place in the world, and how all of that can be used to improve your everyday experience of life, not just in my head, but in my body, that you are free of disease, not just free of disease, but are thriving and moving and doing what humans are supposed to do at the maximum potential that you have. And then, and what you do with that, I can't wait to see what you do with that. And I'm glad you asked me this question. I've probably been talking too long, but man, oh man, I'm really passionate about this idea of integrated wellness as a path to anti-aging, longevity, and real contributions to your family, your community, and the world around you. That's what I got. That's what I got, King. I appreciate you having me on. Looks like my man you stepped away for a moment, so I'm just gonna riff on this, because so if there was a message, one thing I would leave you with, is this: there are 5 things that you need that if you had them, you could thrive health wise, you could thrive wellness wise, and you could turn back the hands of time on your biological clock and extend the good times that you have going forward with your health span. There are 5 things you need. You gotta get some earth energy. What is that? That's good nutrition.
Hello?
That's hey. I'm still here. I'm still
All
here.
right, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sorry, my system had to this reset on me. So, but I'm here.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Are we still
Thank
alive?
y'all.
We still rolling?
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah. So I was just explaining that there's like 5 things you need in order to thrive into hyper wellness, and that is earth energy. Now this goes all the way back to the Egyptians again. This business about the 5 elements, but I'm not going to name them in terms of the realities of today. That earth energy really is your nutrition. That's the quality of nutrition that you get from the earth, which is you got to get the right nutrients in you. You do that, you do it well. You get air. What the air element? What is that? That's your oxygen. You want to know that you want to be able to get more oxygen to your body, because the higher level your oxygen is, the lower the level of bad microbes and things that could make you sick. If you're rocking 95, 98, 100% oxygen saturation in your blood, the likelihood of illness goes down significantly. Then you need
Oh, okay.
water. Water. Water is you are 90% water. Really, you are. If we evaporated everything out of your body right now, it'll be 10% of you will be left, and that would be basically minerals, right? So you're 90% water, and the rest of it minerals. So what does it say? Minerals. What is that? Crystals. You're mostly crystals and water. And your water that you have in your body isn't like regular water, it's fourth state water, which is structured water that can hold energy and information differently than than the waters that you and I normally consider when we say that word. And then you need fire. So you got your earth, air, water, and fire. What is that? That's heat. That's temperature. You got to be in the right zone. And that it's like a 10-degree zone. You keep your body in that Goldilocks zone. Good. You need the temperature, and you also need the energies from the heat. That's because that's a quantum wave that's coming to you, creating that heat, and it interacts with the quantum waves of your body in a way to generate even more energy. So that's there you go. So you got earth, air, water, fire, and the fifth one is the electromagnetic energy of the earth. They call that ether. This is the electromagnetic energy of the earth, electromagnetic energy of the solar system. All of that stuff is feeding your body with energy, electrons. The higher your energy level, the higher your electron level, the higher, the more perfect your pH. Dr. Sebi would say, alkaline body is the best body. That's because the pH is in that Goldilocks zone, and that gives you more electrons, more life energy, and you need all of that in order to thrive. Anyway, that's what I got to say. Hey, what you got?
Okay, so I wanted to ask you because I seen that you did like hypnotherapy.
Yes.
So how does that as well? And what is that like? How do you utilize that? Like, are you actually hypnotizing people, or what is that process?
Okay, you asking the best question ever right now. Check this out. So, 100% of human life is entrainment. Entrainment is a word that equates to entrancement. Entrance means focused mental pattern, focused brainwave pattern. So a trance is a focused brainwave pattern, and everything you know by virtue of having learned through what you might call hypnosis. A transfer of
Okay.
knowledge from one person to another is a hypnotic, a learning experience is a hypnotic experience. So everything, so your idea about who you are is a hypnotic understanding. Now watch this. Self-image can help you or hurt you. So what hypnosis does is that when your self-image is such that it's causing you dysfunction in a marriage, dysfunction at work, dysfunction, just functioning in life. Well, what I do with hypnosis is de-hypnotize you from that, is to help you break the spell, if you will, break the trance, break the entrainment that you have established, knowingly or unknowingly, that holds that syndrome in place, so that you're now free of it. So part of this quantum healing thing is really about breaking the entrainment that you have, that you're a victim and you need a savior, like a doctor who's actually a biomechanic that's either gonna watch it get better right along with you, or cut it out of you, or pour poison on it. Right? So these are all of that's entrainment, all of that is hypnosis. So which is to say, hypnosis is just, you might use that word to say, how does a human being learn, remember, and recall? Through language. And so we use linguistic pathways to connect to your brain function, which connects to your bodily functions, which now the things you think can shape the experience of what happens in your intestines. Like, so they say every cell in your body is eavesdropping on your mind. You think stinking, you got stinking thinking in your brain, negative thinking in your mind. That all of your body cells hear that, and they respond to that because they do exactly what it is that you are worried about. I'm worried about my heart condition. Well, it's gonna do exactly what you say. It's gonna give you something to worry about. On the other hand, if you say, I'm proud of my body, if you are entranced and entrained, I'm proud of my body, I'm proud of the way it functions, I love how it carries me from here and there, it responds to that too, because it's eavesdropping all the time. What you say to yourself makes more difference in the world than anything else.
Yeah, I've heard that in many different like places, like in different forms, like belief
Yes.
systems and stuff. Like with other Christian, like people talk about prophesying over
Yep.
yourself,
Yep.
And
Yep.
stuff like
Yep.
that. That mentality,
That's
that thought is very good.
that's a form of hypnosis too. If we hadn't made hypnosis such a bad word, that would be a compliment. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like we done the hypnosis what we did uh, to DEI. We made it a bad word. We did the hypnosis what we did to affirmative action. We made it a bad word. Or this is, so we just change. We entrance ourselves into new meanings of old phrases, and those meanings live with us over time until we break the spell, till we break the trance, till we abandon the entrainment. Now, entrainment is something that happens naturally. You know,
yeah,
if you and I lived in the same space long enough, and I'm talking days, weeks for sure, definitely not months and
yeah,
years, our bodily hygiene cycles would begin to take the same pattern. I'll be bumping into you going to the bathroom every time because the body's naturally
yeah,
entrained to work in harmony with the surrounding waveforms around them, with the surrounding life forms around. It's a natural thing. You can't help but in entrain and engage and somehow synchronize with the other life forms around you. That's why it's good to have trees, living things in your house, so you can help you synchronize and keep your waveform smooth at the level of the earth, because we are entrained by the other life forms around us.
okay. So we are going to be wrapping up soon. So I would say, like, with all the information, like that you are giving and that you do provide, what would be like a diamond in the rough or a jewel, one point that you could leave for my audience to take away to like to better themselves or put them into a thing or to start this journey of
Wow.
wellness?
For somebody who this is brand new to, like, and never really thought about their bodies and health, they just ate what they did, and never really gave it any thought, just whatever the commercial said or whatever mama cooked or whatever I grew up with, and it's never crossed my mind that I need to do something different. Well, the first thing you need to do is start eating natural as you possibly can. Start eating it as close to what you believe your native roots would have been had you not been exposed to this Western world. And that really just, means just, eat like you from Jamaica out in the, out in the rural areas of Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? You're eating off the land.
Yeah.
All right. The closer you can get to that, the better. Which means eat organic if you can. Don't eat, don't eat commercial food. Just stop. And if you don't want to get
Right.
sick or die of the big fours, quit eating oils, seed oils, and sugar. Seed oil, sugar, and white flour. Seed oils like vegetable oil, Crisco, all of that stuff you normally cooking with, no matter what it is, except with the
Yeah.
exception of olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado oil, everything else is causing you is deteriorating your body, causing you inflammation. It causes inflammation. Inflammation causes disease. Disease causes death. It just takes a long time to go from A to B. The sugar is the worst thing a human could eat. Sugar of all types,
Yeah.
all kinds, that you have to that you add to something. If you got to add sugar to it, then don't eat it. And certainly don't add the sugar. Regular fruits and vegetables and things that are normally sweet to taste, fine. All that added stuff, never. Foods with dyes. Stay away from foods that got food coloring in it, which is pretty much everything except the stuff that comes directly from the farm, right out of the ground, or right out of the ocean. I mean, that's wild. So eat wild. Oh, just that alone will change the trajectory of your life, even though there's 1,000 other things that you need to be doing in order to achieve hyper wellness.
Yeah.
If you could handle the earth part of the equation, see, the earth part, you get a lot of choice in. The air part, you don't get much choice in. You get what air was available to you. And in the city, the air quality in the city is about 12% of the total volume of molecules in the air. In the rural spaces, in the woods, is nearly 20%. So if you want to feel better, more energized, you need to go to the coast. You need to go into the woods. You need to spend time outside. Go outside and play, kind of thing. And then water-wise,
Okay.
get in. You step into a body of water that's natural, and it will naturally give you all the electrons your body needs to fill up every one of those spots. To stop oxidation, stop aging stress immediately. We probably should be living in the water. It's probably why fish live in the water. Truth be known, you ever thought of it?
Okay.
Oh, these are great things to start with.
Okay, so those are all. So if somebody wanted to work with you or get help from you, how should they contact you? Let them know where to find you and stuff.
Yeah, find me by email, easiest way. Dr. Marcus Coaching, Dr. Marcus Coaching at Gmail. If you can remember my name, Marcus Robinson, Dr. Marcus Robinson, drmarcusrobinson.com. That's how you find me. If you can't do that, go on to Facebook and look up the number 4, Marcus Robinson. You will find me, 4 Marcus Robinson. That's all you got to remember. I just trying to get this 4 Marcus Robinson, and you'll find me. I'm Dr. Marcus Robinson all over the world.
Yeah, we'll definitely have all of that contact information in the descriptions. It is definitely easy to find because, like I was able to find your social media and your stuff, and like you have your, can I just like you have your profile picture able to recognize which one's Dr. Robert, it's not going to be a confusing there.
You're never going to see another beard like this one anywhere, baby. This is Tata Kalunga. This one come all the way from the Bantu tribe 5,000 years ago. My grandmother come to me with this. So you just look for the locked beard and you will find Dr. Marcus Robinson.
Yeah. So I thank you very much. This was a very educational, but also entertaining and full interview, and I do appreciate you spending the time with us. And as I said, this was live, but we will have the video up also on YouTube and clips on our other social media, and we will share all of your information with them so that they know where to find you. And hopefully this will help people out there. It definitely helped me, in some stuff I knew, some stuff, it just clicked, so I'm in my 40s, so it's a good time for me to really start making this stuff more serious to, extend my time in health. So thank you very much for your time.
Yes, I'll make sure to drop a copy of my ebook in your onto your link, and anybody who reaches out to me, I'll give them a free copy of the book. It has everything in it, plus more. And then if you want to talk and engage, I love to talk and engage. And if you need help, I can definitely provide that as well.
All right, thank you all for coming. Dr. Marcus Robinson, make sure y'all look him up, get that information, and it's all about wellness and just living a better life there. And hopefully, this interview helped you guys. All right, have yourself a good day.
Namaste.
All right. Thank y'all for the interview. Sorry, I had to do the system reset. Happens. I do gotta upgrade my restream. We got our next interview coming March 14th, and there's a few more being scheduled. So be on the lookout. We're holding court. I'm King Mumbles. Everybody, y'all have a great day.